Star Wars, a blockbuster franchise that needs no introduction. You know it, I know it, and we all hate Jar Jar Binks. Star Wars wasn't just a space movie. It was a space movie influenced by fantasy, clever writing, fantastic world building, well-written lore, and characters. And most importantly, the coolest weapon we wish we all had, a lightsaber. One of the most satisfying weapons to see move around the screen. And the sheer creativeness they were able to achieve with such a satisfyingly simple weapon is nothing short of amazing. And of course, the Force. We've all pretended to use the Force at least once in our lives, don't kid yourself. Speaking of not kidding yourself, have you not hit that subscribe button yet? Come on, go ahead and hit it. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the time Sonic Origins comes out, and I'll even be doing a giveaway for it with no subscription required if I reach the goal. So if you like this video, make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with all my content. But now, on with the video. The original Star Wars trilogy plus some of the other content was and still is an amazing feat in cinematic history, and has sparked the imagination and hearts of many fans new and old. Even if you don't understand it, you can't deny the sheer impact of Star Wars' legacy on many generations. So when you do anything Star Wars, you gotta make sure to capture the wit and creativeness that Star Wars brings. And that's where LEGO comes in. As good as Star Wars is, it is an adult movie because there's a lot of stuff that kids either won't get or maybe are just too violent. So allowing them to share the love and magic of the original movies is LEGO Star Wars, a video game series retelling the stories for a younger generation with more focus on humor so that it can stand out from the movies for both kids and adults to enjoy. For kids, it's an alternative version of Star Wars until they're old enough to understand the source material, and for the adults, it's a very comical retelling of the movies they love. Oh, is it?
Damn, bro, you just fell off hard.
He's so static.
I love.
He didn't even look dead. He didn't even look
Yes.
dead. He was just like, well, I guess this is my life now.
Oh, yo, I'm not gonna lie, that kill, that was actually kind of cool. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
know, it's so good. I love it.
The X is in the eye.
Yeah, I know, that's what I was laughing at. And in my opinion, there is no other company more fitting to do that than LEGO. LEGO, in my opinion, are one of the most creative and wholesome companies with some great content under their belts. Not just the amazing toys they make, but the shows and movies they have come out with.
Forgive me, but is that underwear?
Sir, we're usually more organized, but our leader got lost in a time stream. They're coals.
They're blue! You're lucky they're not yellow.
And the LEGO games held by TT Games are no exception. Playing any of these games is like playing with a box of LEGO toys and just having at it. But does LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga keep the quality and magic of the original games and movies? Well, let's find out. Let's nitpick LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. No! I do want to give a bit of a disclaimer before we get started. I have not beaten this entire game because I've actually been streaming the game, and I want to try to keep most of the content in Skywalker Saga a surprise for my stream. The only movie I have played that I haven't streamed is Episode 7, The Force Awakens, just to get clean footage without my stupid face and in better quality because I have to stream in 720p. But I feel I played enough to get a good opinion, and my opinion is that I just really enjoyed the game. It's so strange to think about the fact that LEGO games ever since LEGO Star Wars 1 have just been using the same exact formula. And the fact that it's LEGO Star Wars that's reinventing it all again, it's just a really weird feeling about it coming full circle. LEGO Star Wars games and LEGO games have been retooled thanks to the Skywalker Saga. Instead of a puzzle-like character-centered kids game, we now have a LEGO game that pulls you closer to the action thanks to the over-the-shoulder camera, which helps especially when you are wielding a long-range weapon like a blaster, or helping you target enemies when throwing a lightsaber. Let's get into that, shall we? There are over 300 characters, spanning over 9 full-length films, all of them being separated into unique character classes like Jedi and Scavenger and much more, each being able to level up with the skill tree. But there is a little bit of a problem I have with the skill tree though, but we'll get into that a little bit later when we get more in depth on the gameplay. For now, let's talk about how gorgeous this game looks. If it wasn't already apparent, I'm playing this game on PS5 and it looks amazing. For a LEGO game, of course, but I don't mean that as an insult. Before we go any further, I do need to make clear that according to what I've heard, TT Games wanted to use the Unreal Engine for this game, to which WB Games forced them to make their own in-house engine, which was an incredibly shitty thing to do on WB's part, but I will say, I do think the crunch and effort was worth it in the end. The reflections off characters making them look like actual LEGO figures, gorgeous lighting with a smooth as butter 60 FPS gameplay, and the contrast of LEGO figures and objects between real-life geometry really gives off that child playing with toys mentality. So WB, you shouldn't have crushed TT Games and forced them to make an engine. But credit where credit is due, TT Games, you did a great job. Except the game sometimes has screen tearing. This problem could be unique to the PS5 and maybe Series X versions of the game. Maybe it's an upscaling issue, but yeah, it can be very distracting. I think it happened once or twice every single movie, which is not the biggest deal in the world, but again, it can be very distracting. What also is distracting, but in the right way, is the slapstick humor. It can go from background gags of the characters flipping out on screen while something special is happening, lines taken too literal and turned on their head, and literally batshit insane moments on familiar scenes that make you laugh out loud. Oh, that's true. Oh, he just chucks them! I'm pretty positive that does not happen in the movie. I don't think that happens in the movie. He just literally picks him up and chucks him.
I don't think that's how it goes in the movie either.
Oh, I also forgot this one bit. When you're saving Leia, she puts the code on the wall and points it out, which for some reason got a laugh out of me. Hey, yo, what are you doing? Hey, whoa, what's Princess Leia doing? Look at... Oh, she's giving me the answer. Oh,
She's literally, you hate idiot. This is the she's literally, you hate dumbass. This is the answer.
Okay, that's funny. I'll admit, especially as someone that's like stuck on it right now. That's actually funny. It's like, hey, the answer's right here. Hey, the answer's right here. Okay.
Do you think that's different for every player?
Maybe, who knows? There's only one problem I have with all the films though. You see, there may be 9 films, but there's a separate piece of Star Wars lore missing. You see, I happen to recall a Christmas special that came out very shortly after A New Hope. Why didn't you do it, LEGO? Did you just forget about it? Do you even remember what I'm talking about? Anyway, let's talk about some things that were changed from the original game. So alright, first I'll address the elephant in the room. Sir, they did make a fundamental change to the cutscenes. We have received word that there is voice acting in Skywalker Saga. I honestly don't mind the change, and I completely understand why there is voice acting in these games as opposed to doing the mumbling in the original LEGO Star Wars. First of all, voice acting just makes these games look more impressive, and not to mention, the voice actors are all reprising their roles from the Clone Wars TV show, so getting those makes the game look way cooler, so I totally get it from TT Games' perspective. But more importantly, second of all, I just feel like the game having voice acting just fits the target demographic of these games better. Fucking children ruining everything. I don't know if you ever met a kid in your life, but they have short attention spans. And by the way, just because you didn't doesn't mean every kid doesn't. But I think it just makes the cutscenes way more enjoyable to watch, and honestly I don't think you're trading that much. Obviously, I love the humor of the original Star Wars, that I've seen anyway, but it's undeniable that I don't think they did it purely as a style choice. Pretty sure it was just making the most out of a cost-effective situation, which again was a blessing in disguise. But now that they can do voice acting, it's just the better decision to make in my personal opinion. So I'm with TT Games and WB on this one. However, if you really care about this, they did add Mumble Mode to this game, which replaces all of the voice acting with mumbles, which is a nice sentiment and all, but it doesn't really give the same feeling. The reason why the mumbling in the older games were so good was because they had to rely on visuals along with the funny mumbles. So here, it's just a little bit pointless is all.
Anything else?
No character customization.
What?
This is another decision I also get, but it is a bit more frustrating. There is no character customization in this game. In their official statement, they basically said,
"There is no character customization in Skywalker Saga. We have 300 characters, so fuck off dweebs.
So it is a little disappointing that we can't use the pieces of those 300 characters to make the ultimate Star Wars OC, but I do understand that they likely don't have time to develop all that. So I'm cool with it, but I won't say it's not disappointing. But anyway, I don't mind any of these changes. What I also don't mind is the soundtrack. Of course, it uses the music from the actual movies, and John Williams is a legend, and so of course it's good. So good, in fact, I can't use it due to copyright.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
But the music is welcoming, and it really helps you feel closer to the films. It's kind of like you're playing with your own box of Lego toys and humming the soundtrack to yourselves while flying the ships. It's just really cute. If you haven't guessed already, I'm a huge fan of the presentation of this game. It feels like a Lego game, and I just really appreciate all of the hard work that TT Games put in. And I know for a fact that they work their asses off, and I'm all for it. But the most important thing is the gameplay, and does it improve on the Lego games and make it special? Of course it does. As I said before, Lego games have been getting really stale ever since, I'd say Lego Harry Potter. Because ever since Lego Star Wars, they've just been rehashing the same formula over and over and over again. I'm not saying it didn't work, but it was just getting stale, and if you played one Lego game, more or less you've kind of played them all, with here or there some games focusing on things better than others, like Lego Ninjago focusing a bit more on combat, and Lego Marvel Avengers being an ass game. But overall, Lego games just needed to shake things up, because I'm sure even kids were getting tired of it. So with this new Lego Star Wars game, it's over the shoulder to bring you closer to the action and focusing more on combat. Of course, there's still puzzle solving and tons of exploration. You know what? Let's start with that first. So first of all, you have 9 films to explore, each for me taking about 2 to 3 hours each movie, with all of them being cliff notes of the original source material, with a lot getting cut or just simplified to only be a few seconds so you can jump back into the action. So I recommend watching these films before playing the game. I don't think it's absolutely necessary, but I feel like if you want to get a general idea of what's going on, you should probably view the source material. But here's the coolest bit. All of the planets are accessible once you have visited them in the story via Galaxy Freeplay, and you can go to any hub world with any of the 300 characters. Playing as Luke Skywalker in Coruscant just feels wrong. I feel like I'm breaking the sacred timeline.
What have I done?
What I can do is take Jar Jar Binks there and throw him off the edge and dead where he belongs. Also, since you can play as any character, some characters actually have unique dialogue if you see characters with them. Like if you find Darth Vader as Kid Anakin Skywalker, you get some unique dialogue foreshadowing Anakin's betrayal.
Whoa, that's a cool suit. Where can I get one of those?
You have allowed this Dark Lord to twist your mind.
Kind of dark actually. Let's distract ourselves from that, because we have something even scarier to talk about. This game has 1,166 Kyber bricks to collect. That's how long I'll be dead by the time I finish this game.
Ooh, do any of you know where the last Kyber brick is in level 2?
As per usual with LEGO games, Kyber bricks can be found either by finding them during exploration, by collecting 3 of them for collecting all the studs in a level, and you can also find asteroids out in space that are holding them. And finally, you can do short missions and quests for NPCs in which they will give you a Kyber brick for all your hard work. And the Kyber bricks are pretty important this time around, and we'll get into that in just a moment. Alright, let's get into the combat, and this is way more fun than previous LEGO installments because you can actually combo in a baby toy game meant for little Timmy. And if you do too much of the same attack, they will actually start to block you. So you can't just keep pressing the same button. You have to do combos, with all of the face buttons turning into an attack button once you're in combat. And for characters that can use the Force, characters like Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, Obi-Wan, etc., certain objects you can hold down the circle button to pick up and throw at enemies, and you'll want to make sure to collect the studs after doing that. But let's be real, let's not pretend we spend like 20 minutes in these games just making sure everything is destroyed and collecting every single stud that I can see. And you're going to need those studs too, because from what I read, you're going to need a lot of them if you plan on unlocking all 300 characters. But another reason you'll need them is the new skill tree system that I was talking about earlier, which I'm a little bit split on. In my opinion, the gold bricks, which have been replaced by Kyber bricks, were just collectibles. You wanted to collect them, and they didn't really do all that much. I think. I haven't completed a LEGO game in a long time. But you more so just found them just to say you found them and complete the level because they are just so fun to find. But here, they are actually useful in that you spend them along with studs on the skill tree, which is very cool, don't get me wrong, but again, it kind of messes up that feeling of having collected them and keeping it. Sure, there's always a progress bar saying how many Kyber bricks you collected during the story, but still, I kind of wish they just used studs, honestly. There's still a problem with the skill tree system, though, in that this is still a LEGO game. I don't really feel there's much of a reason to upgrade with the skill tree. In fact, I just plain forgot about it through half the game, and I never really felt challenged by the game, even though I never upgraded any of my characters. While I still agree with that, I'm here to butt in and say, like, you do get cool stuff, by the way. Like, there is a reason to upgrade the skill tree. I looked at some stuff while editing this video, and I do see, you know, you do get some cool moves and such, but I still think the sentiment holds true in that the game is still too easy, and I didn't feel any need. I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything by not improving the skill tree. But to be fair, I've only played 5 episodes in total, so maybe one of the other episodes get ridiculously harder, but I'm gonna safely assume that's not the case. I don't blame them for it, honestly, because remember, this game is for kids, so me complaining about it is redundant. So I don't know what else they would have done besides a difficulty select, which as far as I know, there isn't one? I don't think so, but it's honestly fine. The combat and exploration is fun enough, and just being able to make my abilities just for the sake of it satisfies me enough, I guess. Also, I can't end this video without 2 pieces of info I found out about, but I couldn't test it. Apparently some parts during the game, mainly Luke and Darth Vader in episode 6, one player plays as Luke, and the other player plays as Vader, and they fight each other. That's just awesome. My only complaint with it is that Luke has to win, obviously in order for the story to make sense, which honestly makes it a bit pointless, but it's still just a really cool detail. What isn't a cool detail, though, are the 2 major glitches I encountered, which were just weird and annoying. So first there was this glitch where my vision was blurry, and I had literally my vision. Seriously, this is an accurate representation of how blind I am. I didn't need to be reminded of that, TT. But a more frustrating glitch was one I talked about on my personal channel, where I was playing The Force Awakens in my free time to get streamless footage of this game. And in between sessions, the game soft-locked on me, and I had to restart the whole episode on a brand new save file all over again in order to fix it. What the heck, TT? I'll never forgive you for this. No, alright, fine. Alright, so the verdict. LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga is a really fun game, packed with fan service and tons of content, making it feel like you're playing with a bunch of LEGO toys. And I really appreciate everything they did and everything they had to go through with WB. It's a miracle this game came out as high quality as it is. If you're at all interested in more thoughts on this game, please make sure once again to subscribe, because I'm actually streaming this game, and I plan on streaming all the episodes and even some post-game content, so make sure to check them out. I stream mostly on Saturdays. I'm really excited to see more LEGO games in this new style and see how much they build off this new formula. And hey, there's been a ton of discussion on what games they should do next. I'm personally pulling for the next game to be a LEGO Spider-Man, The Web Saga, or something like that, where it follows the events of all the Spider-Man movies until No Way Home. But I think it could be a bit too late for that. They might not want to do it. If anything, they probably will just do another LEGO Marvel Superheroes game. Make a LEGO Ninjago game based off the TV series. Look, I know we have the movie game, and honestly, it's great. It really is. But come on now. And don't tell me there was one on the DS and a couple on the 3DS. Oh, bullshit. Come on, TT Games and LEGO. Make the LEGO Ninjago the Spinjitzu Saga and have all the worlds from every season. Could you imagine everything they could pull from? The Monastery, Ninjago City, the Kingdom of Shintaro from Season 13? Come on, man, I'm begging you here. Anyway, what are your thoughts on the LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga? Are you interested in this game? If you played it, do you like it? Let me know down in the comments below. And make sure to also subscribe to the channel. Got a bunch of great content in the works, and help me reach 1,000 subscribers by the time Sonic Origins comes out. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.